Lisa Christensen here with watercolor cards. I want to show you my favorite gold metallic pigments that I use in my watercolor cards, like this one. I put the gold right there. Isn't that gorgeous? It's just so fun. I'll use a rose gold in my Christmas cards. These are just like playtime that I just thought could make into really pretty Christmas cards. But I use gold all the time in summer, just as much as winter, and Christmas cards. Like this is a sunset and you can see the gold splatters. It just makes for a fun card. Again, Christmas. It could also be maybe a spring card, just a simple little splash of metallic right there. And then here's another one that I chose with gold. So I love using gold metallics in my watercolor card process. So let me show you some of my favorites, kind of go over the properties of gold metallics so you guys can make your own decision on what watercolor is the best for you. So I'm going to start with handmade paints. Yes, you can buy handmade watercolors. This is from Miss Hand Painted, and you can find her on Etsy or on her website, Miss Hand Painted. I've met her. She's an awesome artist. She graduated from Iowa State University, I believe, and she just has this beautiful website full of watercolor. I just love it. So her metallic gold is just called gold, which I like, and it is gold. It is just yummy, buttery goodness. And I'm just using a size 10 round brush, and this is a pretty like tea, maybe I would say tea. It's not milk, but look at how thick it is. It's just beautiful. I love it. And then if I wanted to go more of a thick, like a tea thickness, maybe just a thin line, I can, and it just has this beautiful quality of gold to it. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so that is a handmade. I like handmade pigments because they are usually done in a small batch, so you know you're going to get good quality. My next favorite is iridescent gold. This is just beautiful. This is from Core Watercolor. You can tell I've used a lot. The tube is probably like $20, but I use it all the time, and a little bit will go a long way. And it has this beautiful like gold quality to it. It's just my favorite. And I like working with fresh paint from a tube, because you can get more, you can get as thick or as light as you want. So I'm going to go for like a buttery look, and it's not going to be as thick or as gold, which is kind of nice because it's a bit more opaque. Golden, the brand Golden usually is known for their oil and acrylics for fine art, and so you can get a lot of different variations just from this tube of gold. This is my go-to gold when I want like a light, nice gold look to it, right like that. Yeah, it's really pretty. It's not as striking as this warm gold, but it's still one of my favorites. It's my go-to. And I'll show you another fun favorite that I like to use with this paint as well. I'm probably going to need a new one after this, after the end of this year. So there's that. All right, one of my other favorites is the Gansai Tambi Starry Colors. The Starry Colors is fantastic, and you can tell that I've used a lot of the golds because I love this. But it comes in 4 different, you get like 5-6 different golds, and then you get like this white gold, which is really pretty. And I like this because if you like color harmony and color temperature, you can get like a cool blue gold, or you can get like this warm red gold. And it is just beautiful. A lot of people will use hand lettering with this, and I can see why. Because once you kind of activate it, I'll show you my mountains and hills. But you can get like, you want like a milky like consistency, which is about where it's at right now. And then it might be too thin. I'm gonna have to go a little bit darker. You can get some beautiful hand-drawn letters that way. Yeah, so pretty. And that would be a nice big one. Or an O. You got, I mean, it's just beautiful. And it's really pretty on watercolor paper. Yeah. So Starry colors, you swatch them out. I love them. Definitely worth the money if you were thinking about getting Starry colors. The other colors that I like is the blue gold, and this one isn't as rich, but it has this iridescent quality, which is just lovely. So if you're looking for like a variety of different golds, Starry colors really is it. You can kind of see the difference. It's definitely still like up in my runnings. Like I will get this out all the time. If I know I just need gold, I reach for this, or I reach for my hand painted. But if I'm not sure what tone of gold I want, I'll go with this one. And I like the case. I can put it right in when it's still wet and it'll just dry just fine. And I've had this for, oh my gosh, years. I don't know, a couple years. It's been well loved. Another set that I love, the quality, is this Mei Liang watercolor set. It is one of my favorites. It has, whoops, it has, what is it, 36, 42 colors? I used to remember, but it has all the colors you would need. And then it also has the metallics right down here. And the copper, silver, and gold are just phenomenal. I just really, really have fallen in love with their watercolors. So, Mei Liang, this is their gold. And since we're doing a gold showdown, you really can't go wrong with it. I just like to kind of wake it up and make it all, you know, buttery and beautiful. When you do this, make sure your brush is not like an expensive brush. This is just like my workhorse brush. I buy a couple every year, and when they go bad, then I change it out. But same sort of thing. Very rich in pigment. This is really warm. I would say this is about as warm as the Miss Hand Painted one. It's just gorgeous. Look at that. That's so pretty. How fun. I think it would be fun to make a whole card of just like an initials. Like, so my last name is C. So make a whole bunch of C's in gold, and different sizes in calligraphy. That would help with your calligraphy and your brush lettering, and you can make a really fun project out of that. But that is just beautiful. And to be a more buttery, there we go. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Yeah, you can kind of see the difference in all of them. Isn't that pretty? Okay, moving on. The next one that I like is this Artistro Watercolor paint set. It has 12 metallic colors and some chameleon watercolors. Really, the chameleon watercolors are my favorites, but they say they have gold. It's more like a frost gold is what I would call it. I would call the leprechaun gold really pretty too. Orange sunrise is more of like a warm gold, but because we're doing gold, I will do that one. And sometimes I have to find what it is on the map because I can never remember. So gold is like this green shade right there. That's what it says. So that's what we're going with. Let's see. And I do love this set. This is a great set to play with. Like if you just want metallic colors, this is a fun one. But it's not a deep gold. Like you're not going to see a deep gold. Like you can barely see it. And so, and even if you do like a thick, it's still not going to be where you want it to be. So keep that in mind. You can always add yellow to it, but that defeats the whole purpose of using metallic gold. So let's go into this Leprechaun Gold, which is my favorite out of all of this. This is a really fun set. I'm going to dab my water off a little bit. There. That's a little bit thicker. And it has this dual color to it. So there's the different golds that I recommend. I'd love to know if you have a favorite gold. A tube gold is really fun. I do have a Daniel Smith rose gold. I call it rose gold. It's really technically called Autumn Mystery. And this is a new favorite of mine. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. But it's Daniel Smith Autumn Mystery. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's just my favorite. I'm going to actually put it on the paper so you can see it kind of do its thing. And I'll do the same thing with the core watercolor so you can see. So there's just a dab on my paper. And I'm just going to add pigment to it and you can watch it flow. It's just beautiful. I always hate wasting gold metallic paint because it's so pretty. But to watch it flow is quite magical. Yeah, you can see the pigment. It's just beautiful. And it is more of an earthy color. Daniel Smith does a really good job with their mica pigments to make it as earthy as possible. And so it looks organic and just beautiful and yummy. And then I'll do the same thing with the core watercolor so you get a better idea. So I just put some core watercolor on my paper. I truly love this core watercolor. This tube is worth its weight in gold. But those two together, I'll let it focus. Just beautiful. Yeah, it's hard to focus gold there. So let's do a fun little project. Let's do that little like typography brush lettering with some of the gold that we have, and I'm going to go ahead and use my Miss Handmade paint for it, and I might even add some of this duochrome Autumn Mystery because I just love it. Just to get some practice with brush lettering. I always think if you have paint left over from your painting session, use it up. Alright, so we'll start with, I always like to work with as little pigment as possible. So because there's a magnet, this isn't going to sit completely right, but that's okay, it doesn't have to. Alright, so my last name is Christensen, so I'm just going to doodle some C's. And some are going to be big C's, I think. And some of it's going to be thick and some of it's going to be light. And this was way too light for me, so I'm going to go back in and just play. And then, so C's are, I always like to hold my brush at a 45-degree angle, and then I'm just lightly touching the paper. And in my mind, I've already drawn it, so it's just getting your mind and your hand to work together. Alright, I did enough gold. Let's go into Autumn Mystery. Ooh, that's so pretty. And a little bit will go a long way. When you're dealing with brush lettering, you want to go as slow and precise as you can. And a lot of it is just muscle memory and knowing how to hold the brush. I'm gonna make a C right in here. Why not? We're just making it fun, right? I can't decide, but I think I want my other C right there to overlap. And I really... there. And I think this needs another curly Q on it. Why not? It's just supposed to be a fun exercise, so hopefully if you do your initial, it'll help you with your calligraphy and your brush lettering and composition. But you get the idea. I'm going to speed this up for you so you're not watching me in real time, because that sounds not fun for anybody. Now what I could do afterwards is kind of spray it with a little bit more metallic, and I will show you how I will do that. So I have a simple water bottle. It is just filled about 2/3 of the way up with water. It was actually, and then I'm going to take some of this pigment, this core pigment right here, a tube pigment. I could do the same thing with the Autumn Mystery, but I just want some gold. And I'm going to put some in here and make my own metallic spray. Artists do this all the time, and that looks about right. We'll see. I might be needing more. We might not need any more. Core is really good at getting a lot of pigment in, and then I'm going to shake it. I'll shake it off. Alright. And it's a trial by error, but you just got to keep shaking it until it's dissolved. It's looking dissolved. Let's try it out on a piece of paper. I'll try it out on this first. And of course, the first couple of times, the spray is going to be regular water probably. Oh, it's doing something. I'm getting a little bit of a spray. It's not thick enough. So I'm going to add a little bit more. There, that's probably enough. That's about all I have on my tube, but that's okay. I'm going to get more watercolor, gold watercolor, next time I make a blick order. Let's try it again. Oh, there we go. This is going to work. Alright. There's only a little bit of markings on here. Oh, look at that, you guys. I got a pretty watercolor thing happening. You probably can't see it too much on the camera. Maybe you can see it dropping, but it is really, really pretty. Holy cow. I'm glad I did that. That is something I would recommend doing if you like to add gold to a whole sheet of paper and then watercolor on it. That would look very, very nice. That is going to be beautiful. And so now what I could do is like paint a little Christmas tree right here where it's wet. I'll just use my Mei Liang watercolor palette. and do a simple Christmas tree. And then when it dries, I just love this Mei Liang watercolor. It's so pretty. It's going to be a very wet, like very simple Christmas tree. Now if I had core watercolor, of course I would use core, but you use what you got, right? Whew! That is looking beautiful, and there's a lot of pigment to it too. And that's just going to make a beautiful Christmas tree. And I already have the background, so I don't have to worry about the background. That's kind of nice. Something like that. And then that will dry, and I'll have a gold background. You can already see the specks of the gold that I just sprayed. And that'll look really nice. And then I can just go in, make make some kind of trunk, right? And call that a done watercolor tree. That's really pretty. Alright, well, I hope this helps. Here's my beautiful practice card panel, which will work lovely. I think this would be really fun for a bookmark. I practice my calligraphy, my brush lettering, however you want to call it. I guess it is brush lettering, but it's still calligraphy in my mind. And I'll send it to my daughter. I'll make a little gift tag or something and put it as a gift and make a couple. It'll be cute. Okay, we're back. This is dried. Remember, this is the paper that I sprayed that mist on that we made. And now I'm just going to kind of get some more values into this tree. So, real quick, I'm just going to get some, probably, this is Hooker's Green. And I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm just going to kind of start making my little tree branches. And so I'm painting with the tip of my brush, not the full brush. I can, but for right now it's just the tip, and I'm going in like a triangle section, and I'm painting like general branches of the evergreen. I'm going just very expressive and simple. I am thinking about where my brush strokes are going, but I'm also letting watercolor kind of do its fun thing. And I've painted lots and lots of pine trees, so I feel like the more we practice, the better our brush strokes are going to be, and the more effortless it's going to look. Okay, I'm going to get some of this olive green. Just really, you want like 2 or 3 different greens. You don't want them all to be the same color. And I'm just building the shape up wherever I feel like it needs it. I think that's pretty good. I kind of in and out. I don't like to spend a whole lot of time. And then because I do have a little bit of a trunk, I'm going to get like a darker brownish. This is what color is this? Van Dyke brown. But really it doesn't matter, you just want a brown. And I'm going to go all the way to the edge, I think. Clean my brush and soften this edge, just so we don't have a hard edge. I'm going to do that one more time. And then I think I might even add a little bit of this like ultramarine blue just to the edge. Maybe there's some blue on it. Right there, just to kind of dull it down a little bit so it's not so brown. There, something like that. And then once this dries, I can stamp a sentiment like this, just right up here. And then I like to mount it to a card base, just like that. So I would just mount this to a card base and then have a beautiful Christmas card. And how simple is that, huh? And like you can still see the metallics, so pretty. yeah, that'll make for a really pretty Christmas card. Alright, I want to show you how I finish up my card. So I painted this beautiful tree. I really love how it has the different greens in it, and there's some beautiful gold. It's just a darling little card. So I found some sentiments that I think would work. This is from Tailored Expressions Modern Holiday Greetings. And as I was going through here, I thought, well, there's no mistletoe, so I can't really use that. I could use Love and Joy, this sentiment. That would work. But they all felt like they were just kind of like one straight line. And I wanted, so what I came up with is, well, we could have a Holly Jolly Christmas. That would be pretty cute. But the one that I really like, that makes sense to me, and I could do the Happy Holidays, and that would be cute too, is Wishing You a Peace and Joy. So I'm going to go ahead and put this where I want it to be on my paper within reason, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my magnet down, kind of situate that pretty much where I want it to be, and then I'm going to press this down just so it picks up the stamp, and then I just have to, I'm going to zoom in for you, then what I want to do is I just want to make sure that it's not crooked. So I see that it is a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. It does need to be perfect. There's no way around it. Okay, that is perfect. Let's see. Do I like that right there? I do. I really do. Okay. Now I'm going to stamp it. I really love using MSC for watercolor paper because if I don't get a great stamp the first time, then I can always stamp it again. And that actually looks really well. I really like that. Okay. It's just a beautiful card. I really like how, even though this was a test paper to start with, I made it into a card panel. I always like doing that. I'm going to clean off my stamp. I always have a piece of paper underneath, and I just like get the ink off as good as I can, and then I'll clean it. Put this back on my carrier sheet. Got that one done. Okay, now I can finish my card. So I have my big tape gun. It's huge. It is quite lovely. And I got paper that I cut to the size that I wanted it to be. So there's my, and I'm just going to tape the dickens out of this. 1, 2, 3. I usually like to do 4. That one didn't get the corner. But I love this tape runner. And this is just going to be about 1/4 of an inch around. And before I push it all the way down, I want to make sure that it is squared up, and it's not quite. That looks really good. I like that. So now I can kind of burnish it with my finger, like the watercolor is not going anywhere. And I'll even kind of, yeah, that's so pretty. That gold with the brown craft paper really just makes it look lovely. And then I just have this white card base that I'm going to just put right on, and then I'll cut the extra off because I don't really want white. That's probably more than enough adhesive, but you can never be too sure. Okay. And then, now you could put some decorative tape or paper right there, but I really want the watercolor to show. I'm going to trim this up. And voila, it's looking like I got a perfect card. Okay, so we painted this, it's all dry, and I mentioned I wanted to make some tags with it, so this is what I'm going to do. Here are my dies to make some tags. It came from Tailored Expressions, and it's the tag stacklets. So I'm going to rearrange them how I think I want them to go. And I don't want to use the big ones, because I want them to be for gift tags. So I'm going to use the three smallest, and I'm going to start with the biggest. And I really like the C, but I don't want it quite in the middle, so it's going to go like, maybe I'll go like that. We'll see. I can do this one right here. I think these will make beautiful gift tags. And I got practice out of it, so I feel like it was a win for everybody. And I'll do a tag like this. And I'll probably get another tag right down here too. Yeah, okay. And then with die cutting, sometimes I tape my dies. It doesn't always happen. There. So cute. That is going to make for a really cute Christmas gift card tag. And same thing here. Doesn't even have to be C's. It's just really pretty. It'll look pretty on some presents. And that will work too. How fun.